Hello everybody, and welcome back to Digimon TCG to Real Money. It's part 2. That's right. I told you guys that I would continue this series, but not upload it, intrusively to all the people that are only here for the raw, hardcore Digimon content. That's right. But in this video, I did include some Digimon stuff, which is really cool. So let me give you the whole agenda for today's video. We're going to do a quick little recap from last video. We're going to talk about what's changed in terms of monetary value and why it's changed. Then I got my piece for Digimon players, and then we wrap up with a question for you, the audience, on how this series will continue. Because I don't know what I want to do about a certain something, and I want you guys to kind of give me an idea. Before we get started, a couple disclaimers. Number one, nothing in this video is financial advice. This is just me doing a thing, taking some money, throwing it in the market, some Digimon TCG money, and seeing what happens. Not advice. It's just me doing my thing. And second of all, this video is going to go under the assumption that you watched part 1. I'm going to put it in a nice little playlist for YouTube and all that. So, if you've not watched part 1, if you're watching this video before watching part 1, just pause this video, go watch part 1, and you'll know why this series even exists in the first place. Because the recap I'm going to give you right now, that'll last 30 seconds, will not do it justice. I'll tell you that right now. So, if you guys want to see more content like this, do let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe, of course. That would be very, very nice. Moving along, the recap. So, I told you guys that Digimon sales were at an all-time low. Mostly Digimon sales. A little bit of magic money pulled in there. But, Digimon sales, card shop sales, all-time low. And instead of just turning the measly profit into more Digimon cards, which seems to be at a dead end, based on where I am, location, and time, and all that, we thought, you know what? Open a trading account, stick it in the stock market, and see what goes. So what I did is I took the initial profit, $2,377.40, put it in there, made an account, and I converted it to US money, which gave me $1,707.66 USD. Okay, we on the same page so far? Good. I decided that for the challenge, we should definitely invest in stocks that are more in the digital space. So, for the very first transaction, which I covered on the previous video, I put the money in a quantum stock known as Rigetti, and we bought 121 shares at $13.88 per, and then we made big money. So turning that into $1,873.38. Fair enough? Good? All right, you're recapped, we're all caught up. It's a beautiful thing. Let us talk about what has happened since then. It's been almost a month. Oh, my face is blocking the way. I'm not going to bury the lead here for you guys. I'm just going to give it to you straight. If I can just click on my face. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so since it was about 3 weeks, I guess, that money has turned into $2,367.11 USD as of August 31st. The other day, I made my final transaction before this video. It's just, again, just buying stock and selling stock at a profit. That's it. That's all we're doing. There's no complicated strategy here. Just trying to turn measly Digimon money into more money. That's all we're doing. Just through buy and sell. So right now, as of recording, which is as of 31st August, we are just sitting on this much money in USD. Now, this is actually one of the milestones for the video. I'm going to explain to you why this is a milestone for me, for this series. Because our USD money has basically equaled the Canadian money that we started with. Like, we started off with $2,377.40 Canadian. And now we're, if you minus the $9.95 fee that I paid on the last transaction, we're basically at the same amount of money. Tiny bit less, but quibbles at this point. We've successfully made quite a bit of return on our money, which is a beautiful thing. You do love to see it. And this is what it's all about. This is the whole point of the story, right? So if we just, ignore pennies, no one really likes pennies, you know what I mean? We basically earned a 39% gain on our portfolio so far. For not that many trades, which you'll see here soon, 39% gain is pretty good, I would say. It's not bad, right? It's fine. You gotta keep in mind that we're not dealing with a lot of money here in the first place, so it's harder to make money when you don't have as much money to work with. What have we done? Well, this is basically a chart here going through transactions, and over down here are the very first ones from the first video. But then it kind of goes from there. You can see the buy, sell, buy, sell. For some reason, the buy, sell in this situation, this one here is reversed. But you guys notice a couple of things. Well, first off, I did make a mistake on a transaction on August 12th when I accidentally clicked buy in Canadian funds instead of US funds for a US company. So that kind of put me behind a little bit. It was annoying, but that's why you should be fully committed before doing any kind of serious stock trading for any kind of serious income, and not just doing it while you work on other things. So that's number one. Number two, you'll notice that as in our first few transactions, we made quite a bit of return, right? Like our profit was 1388 to 1556. Then it was 1711 to 1842, over $1. But now most transactions after that point, some of them were around, like what I'm shooting for is at least 50 cents a share gain. That's effectively what I'm going for at this part in the challenge. Why? Because as you get more money, you should be, you don't have to be. This is what I'm doing for the challenge. I'm trying to be a little more conservative, so to speak. I'm not trying to go for any outlandish numbers like I did in the first video just to make a point. No, we want to be smart about it. And we have been smart about it. But if you look at the date range, and my face is blocking the date range for you of recently, you'll notice here that on August 15th, I bought 138 shares at 1658. And I waited 2 weeks, basically, to sell for a profit. Now, some of you in the audience might ask, what happened, Mario? Did you fall asleep? Did you die for 2 weeks? What's going on? Well, I'm going to explain to you what happened in the form of charts. So here on August 14th, right, you see $16 over here. This is the month range. It did fall to about where I bought it at 1658. And I thought, based on the news, probably not going to go that much lower, right? Right. Well, something happened after that happened. It's called tariffs. Those things that apparently, according to the terrifying tangerine in office, that the other country pays. Those things. It's not how it works, by the way. If China is charged 25%, let's say, to basically do business with us, they're going to tack that 25% price on the American company buying the goods, which is exactly what happened here with a lot of these quantum computer companies. Tariffs all of a sudden made things a lot more expensive to buy in order to make their products, is the very short version of what happened. I'm not going to go into the full details because this video, I don't want to bore anyone, but tariffs fucked things up royally. Absolutely. Now, normally I have a stop gap at a point where I say, if I'm day trading, let's say, and I'm buying a stock at a certain dollar amount, if it drops to a certain threshold, before it drops any more, I'll actually sell the stock at a loss to prevent further declining action on the stock. I don't want to lose that much money, right? I'd rather just day trade, sell it at a little bit, tiny bit of a loss, and then put it back in something else, or short the market, or whatever. But with this project, this pool of funds rather, that just came from loosey-goosey Digimon TCG profit. I said, you know, fuck it. Let's see how low it goes, and I'll wait. I'll just wait. And it went fucking low, I'll tell you. Oh, man, almost down to $14. And I was like, okay, whatever. I was very clear at the beginning. If I were to lose everything, I'd lose everything. I'm not too upset about it. But at this point in time, I said, you know what? I'll wait. I'm in no rush. Not for this amount of money. And you know what? Let's take last week into action here. I saw the price starting to go back up again with other news. So I was like, that's great. I'll just wait till I make my at least 50-cent profit, and then I will sell them and then start fresh. And sure enough, that was right over here. I sold for $17.18 a share. I think the max it reached was $17.25, and that was on Thursday. And, I was smart to do that. I was paying attention every day like you should. And I made the right choice because the next day it dropped to 16 and change. So we did good with that. I mean, we didn't really do good with that, but considering the factors at play and, how tariffs can just spontaneously appear. Well, that's what happens. But again, if you watch part 1, you know that that's okay. It's fine. We're not expecting to become rich overnight with this little project that we're doing. We're just trying to turn some money into more money. So now this brings us to, for the Digimon people, the people that watch all my Digimon videos and then watch this video, watch part 1 and said, this is not really Digimon content, Mario. What are you doing? Well, I found a way to make it comparable. So we're going to do that here. Okay? So you Digimon players in the audience, whenever you have a hobby, in this case, let's say the Digimon trading card game, the idea is you want to enjoy your hobby. And to enjoy your hobby, especially a hobby that changes every couple months because of new product release, you need to have the money to spend. Now, I'm not saying copy and pasting what I'm doing. No. What I am saying is you got to start somewhere, right? That's kind of the whole point of this. EX10 is coming out very soon, as an example that I'm going to give you. EX10 is coming out, right? Now, with this little project that I made, where I made $500 USD, that's a lot of EX10 that I could buy. I could buy all the singles I need from the set, literally every single one, a playset of each, at lowest rarity. If I wanted a bling, 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 I could do some of that too, right? Or maybe I buy all my EX10 singles and I realize, well, these decks are playing X card from X set and Y card from Y set, whatever, and I gotta buy a place of those cards too. Whatever. So now I have a splash fund in which I can do that. That is one application to the Digimon players that is useful, but that's not the main example. Here's the main example. For everyone that loves the Digimon Market Watch that I do, because I am the Digimon Market Watch guy. I am. I am. Look, you have to follow the rules, right? These stocks that I've been practicing on, the two stocks, Rigetti and D-Wave, they follow the same rules as trading card games do. Bad news affects the cards in question, they go down. Good news happens, they go up. Meta relevant, they go up. Stuff like that, right? So you could start your Digimon investments, collection building, through something like this that we've been doing here, right? This $500 that you could have made off of these investments, whatever, it doesn't have to be stocks. It can be whatever else. Maybe for a hobby, you make a few paintings and you sell them for $500. Whatever, You do your craft, you make some money, and then you start taking that money and you start taking the market watches more seriously. And you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to buy, with my now earned $500, I'm going to buy all these cards. I'm going to flip them. And I'm going to turn that profit to buy more cards, flip them, and so on and so forth. And the longer you can hold out, the better your collection's going to get in the long run. And sure, it'll be a lot of churning and burning, and you really have to be careful because card games are a finicky thing sometimes. But, that's how you grow a collection. right? You take your money, you build your money through discounts, you try to sell at premiums. And that's effectively how it works, right? You know, the ban list is now behind us in Digimon. It's free investing reign. Do what you think is best. You don't have to worry about a ban list for a while, right? Your Gravity Crush event pack cards aren't going to go to 0, for example. So that's the piece for the Digimon players here. You know, you can use what you've learned here and from Digimon market watches or market material in general, and you can really just start turning your collection into something. I know it's generic. I know it's not really Digimon per se, but I gave you a Digimon example, so you should be happy with that. And I'll try to find a new Digimon, a stronger Digimon related link for the next video. But anyway, now we get to the question for the audience before we end today's video. How do I proceed? So this question is something that I thought of while my money in Rigetti was just going down the toilet because of tariffs. I thought to myself, you know, if I had a little more Digimon profit money that I keep making over time, if I threw it in here at this low of a cost, it will definitely make me money back. So this is the question that I ask to the people who are very interested in the retention of this series. Do I continue to throw in my Digimon trading card game profit? You know, I'm not going to throw in a few $100, but if I get like a lump sum, like another $1,000, $2,000, whatever, do I just stick it all in there at a time that best works? Or do I just stick with the original plan and turn this current pile of Digimon profit into something greater? See what we can do with it. I'm leaning towards the latter because I like the authenticity of the challenge where I have this measly profit that I'm pissed off at, and I want to see if that group, that segment of financial profit can turn into something even greater. I like the authenticity of the challenge by keeping the original money. However, it would be foolish to not throw in more profit as there's a reasonable amount. Like, say the next time this happens, I buy a stock, it goes way down, then if I can just throw in more profit, wait until the right time, throw in more profit, and then buy that stock, those stocks at the low price, and start regrouping and start making the money back. What do you guys think? What do you want to see? Let me know in the comments. And again, you know, this, again, is not the most Digimon-related content in the world. I understand that. But you got to evolve. You got to Digivolve. And that's why this content exists. That'll do for today. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.